Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Great Ace Attorney 2. Oh man, I was so excited to get the game started. I'm super warm. I forgot to take my long sleeve shirt off. Give me a second. Hold on, everything's fine. Okay, it's fine. Fine. Everything's fine. No, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. All right, let's get into it. Trial. It's been a week. What are we trying to do again? No, we're gonna help Saseki-san out. Again. All right, the Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. Seem to get chills down my spine and break in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my line. Good morning. Ah, good morning, Mr. Natsumi. Only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this. Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole. Can't keep coming to court. I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh. Mr. Natsumi, good morning. Yes, morning. So here we are again. Yes, again. What's the bad news? Oh dear, you heard, did you? You come and shine at the top of your voice. People can't hear what you say. Oh, I am sorry. You've done nothing wrong, Mrs. I don't know. What is it? Let me guess. Van Zeeks. Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Beric Van Zeeks. Van Zeeks? Gar! Oh no. Oh no, no. So-called Reaper of the Bailey. The most legendary prosecutor in the land. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Saseki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, on the skin of our teeth. Managed to pull through, but still. Perhaps Mr. Natsumi's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter, after all. Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Van Zeeks is the prosecutor. Oh no. That even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another. And we've experienced it firsthand. A man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end of his acquittal, after his acquittal right here in the Old Bailey. Ah, do I have to put up with those ice cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirit and not by the Reaper. Pair of petrified petrels, potentially. Barrels. It said petrels. Well, but potentially, at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsu. Welcome, student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I'm innocent. You have to believe me. You more than anyone now. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. This promises to be a hard battle, I fear. Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go. Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean. That's probably for the best. Oh? If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that could be seen as a weakness. If Lord Van Zeeks were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least, that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruhodo. You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, local student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said. I swear on the sword at my side and on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free with honor. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. 5 of the 6 juries are the same. Boring. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session. Now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my liberty's friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. Not just my imagination, it's really there. Lord Van Zieks has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now he's back in the courtroom, though for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper with his curious disdain for us Japanese is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Saseki-san's trial. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Absolutely. I had a feeling this was a lark. It wasn't in before. What do you... I must say that I feel especially real some days when my hat refuses to sit right. Jeepers. Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. Oh, boy. Couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight, or the missus will go through the roof. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? How come it's like the same people every time? Quite extraordinary to think that the power of the judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London chosen at random. Prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Currently, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. Really? Why? Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zieks, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric liberty before has had dire consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution called its first witnesses to the stand. Ah, yes. Always so dramatic with you. The detective responsible for investigating the scene and the accused himself. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. Saseki Natsumi from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsumi. Yes, my lord, sir. Quite sure I'm not mistaken. You swore an oath to never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it were yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord. We're close enough. Ugh. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case with the court. Right you are, sir. Into the credit of the Gardev household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare, the defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by strychnine. He was found the following morning where the landlord suspected someone was wrong and broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry or exit from the room impossible. Not! Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell the tale, very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord, and I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. A chilling scene, indeed. Man looks very much deceased. That's right, everyone present believed that it's exactly what he was. Very well, I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. Nothing, Mr. Natsume. Yes. As the defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? They're haunted. Haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings! There's a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. And me? What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times. Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on the fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Jansphere's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. Before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me. It's always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold, my running nose will freeze. The point is I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a reasonable clear picture of events. I can raise one more point, my lord. One more. Conclusive point. Conclusive? Go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Jansphere, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he has named the true culprit. Poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. The accused? Good grief. Order. Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Saseki-san is innocent, then why has the victim accused him? Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Jansphere's room, as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water, especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never! The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we've heard before. That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for a formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection? None whatsoever, my lord. Good, then you will give your account of events on the night in question to the court now. Yeah. Yes, my lord! Natsume is so silly. Catastrophic night. Around 9 o'clock at that evening when I visited my neighbor, I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Arg, my tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Thickening takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. Victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guests left. The argument still stands. Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward. Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims the tea to have been harmless, presumably, though. Teacups have been examined for traces of the poison, haven't they? What did I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. We haven't been able to. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance? How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? Yo, what's up, XLR? Hey, you're welcome. My learned Nipponese friend is falsely incensed. Inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? Simple enough, there was none left. Not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. Aw, dang, XLR. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Oh, I have chat on still. Sorry, I'm gonna turn that off. That way, no shenanigans happen. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funnily enough. Lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips in the night in question. I see, thank you. The matter is clear. The jury, my learned friend. What? You can see in their faces, I'm sure, recognition of the accuser's guilt. The clear client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord!
Hold it!
Were you and your neighbor good friends then? No, we weren't friends. Not at all, not at all. Never, ever. Still no would have sufficed. Then why did you decide to pay him a visit? Mr. Shams, your fancy. Some of us having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. Come now, no Nipponese can understand the finer points of English literature. On the night in question, that was a topic of conversation as well, I presume? It was the day of my last trial when I was acquitted. I just arrived back at my lodgings. I ran into Mr. Chancery outside on the street. That was around 6 o'clock. We exchanged 1 or 2 pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. I was way out at the time, though. I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debates. But did I have ill intentions? No, not 1, not 2, not any. Not at all. Never, ever. Simple no would have sufficed, I feel. Tell the court what did happen when you visited the victim's room.
Hold it!
A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you? Shakespeare? Ah, a very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Oh yes, my lord. Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? It was a profoundly pleasurable parley. Romeo and Juliet? Who was stronger? I know I'm going to regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with our reenactment. She battled it out in a Greco-Roman style, naturally. What? Mr. Chancellor had all sorts of costumes in his room for just a contest. So when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in a costume? He as Romeo, I as Juliet, and after a vigorous wild tussle, I as Juliet came out on top. A victory I'll cherish forever! I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? Oh, I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see. It's true, there was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room. I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless, of course it was! And do you have any basis for that statement, witness? My tea was completely harmless.
Hold it!
Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. Anyone would think the fellow had never had a pot of tea before. You must have licked it dry. Which is a pity because 1 drop was all he would have needed to analyze it for poison. You say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsumi. Yes, definitely. By heaven and earth, I swear it. The landlord was able to verify that as it happens. He confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night. How was the landlord able to attest to this? He, said it was the lamps, I believe. The lamps? Inspector? Hands returned to the room to start using gas. The lamps in other parts of the house flickered. Yes, Mr. Gator seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants. There's only one key to Mr. Chansky's room, I know that for certain. So he must have locked the door himself from inside his room! The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes? So I'm right. My tea was harmless, completely harmless. If you take poison, you die. Everyone knows that. It's not that simple, I'm afraid. What do you mean? Can you take some time to have an effect on the body? People don't keel over me when they're taking it. How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes after the poison is consumed. And the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. There's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. Seem to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, death by poisoning again. Always so awful. 30 minutes is a long time. Long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after the accused left. Can't deny that. And it further degrades Saseki-san's alibi. A medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells out really that the accused is the only person who could have done it. Yeah, but didn't Saseki-san also drink the poison? Pretty sure he also drank the poison. Oh yes, I see it here. Delayed onset of symptoms. Great.
Hold it!
Argument still stands, you say. This is what Mr. Natsumi has been saying, isn't it? A pair of them drank tea together that night. There's poison in it. The victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door after the accused left later on. Exactly. My dear innocent. I'm sweet and innocent, I tell you. I'm afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. You see, strychnine is a slow-acting poison. In other words, it takes time for symptoms to appear. You could have left the room up to 30 minutes after the victim drank the tea. And as long as you did that, Mr. Chancellor could have locked the door after you'd gone. But no! We drank the tea straight away! The battle over whether Romeo and Juliet was stronger, that came after the tea! Do you have any evidence to support that statement? In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have a saying, drink tea while it's hot. I'm afraid there's no conclusive proof to support the defendant's assertion. On the contrary, there are sufficient grounds to infer his guilt in this matter. No. Extent of their testimony, is it? If I could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruhodo. Of course, go ahead. Natsumi is arguing for his innocence so adamantly and so persistently, and Inspector Gregson just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating. I agree. So you need to find an inconsistency in what the inspector is saying, I think. I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsumi guilty. Let's see, what we need to focus on is the poison and the tea. Let's listen carefully to this testimony again. I just want to look over the things real quick. Oh, what is it, Mr. Naruto? This bar is so. When we first found it, I could have sworn there was some sort of round disc in this depression just here, a reddish one. Yes, you're right. I remember it too. But now the depression is completely empty. Where could the disc have gone? Weird. The cup that Mr. Chancellor is drinking from then, stained on the inside. He does that, I'm afraid, even green tea. Oh, really? Never noticed before. You never noticed? Well, I never leave it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot, that's the Japanese way, isn't it? Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture. Most of them are Japanese. Mr. Natsumi was drinking. Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean. She must have drank the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark. I'll just gulp it down too. Sorry, Mr. Naruto. Well, if you just... Well, it gets cold. Clearly, I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea. Substances have been mixed in with the tea the victim was drinking. Poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. Assessed by the victim's pocket watch. The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. I think it has to do with the medical report. Because the fact that it occurred at 1:30 a.m. think it's the medical report in this statement.
Objection!
The argument still stands, you say. I think not, Inspector. Come again? I think you'll find that you overlooked a very significant chronological inconsistency here. A chrono what? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsumi, left the victim's room at 11. Eh? Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsumi brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 hours after the defendant left? I love how they both do it. Alright, that's good. The defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zeeks? Where's yours? Oh, there's yours. I was like, where? You know, drink that? Pray forget the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would be best to complement the contents of my hallowed chalice this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank the tea after the accuser left? For example, the time stated in the medical reports. Yes, at around 1:30. Mr. Natsumi brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor, and in Japan there is a well-known saying, "Ritchie Walls high." In my country, there is an even more apt saying, "There is nothing more refreshing than cold tea." Point is, if there was such a long gap, maybe otherwise explained that the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities. What sort of possibilities, counsel? Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Another visitor? It's a very bold assertion, my learned friend. From someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition. This may have been a suicide, counsel? Mr. Shamsphere has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted. But he could be lying. Something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Is it going to be the guy himself? Out! Out! A brief candle! Lights but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. He's working with someone to incriminate Mr. Natsumi. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Who, sir, are you? William Shamsphere, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victim. What? What's he doing here? The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. This testimony, my learned friend's feudal resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness? Very well, counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself. Happy my Shamsphere to relegate thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell. My own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English. That will do, Mr. Natsumi. Let the court now hear from the victim. You? Yeah, who's that guy? That guy was, yeah, that guy was there before in the last game. Your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses. A writer of words so sweet that they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound they compose the earth, the unrivalled poet, the unmatched scribe William Shakespeare, with the great bard who called it a life for new, lo, what a magnificent man. Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle. William Shakespeare. Oh, the name's Meterman. Adrian B. Meterman. I work for the Altamont Gas Company, East End branch office. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road. Oh yeah, she's right, it's him. Oh, what's this? I think Shamspeare's not been paying his gas bill. What's the man doing over there? He looks like he's trying to see the Seki-san's lodgings. Ramesh Naruhodo. Oh, excuse me, can we have a word? Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Garrett's house that morning, and he's a gas company employee. What does he have to do with this case? So, Mr. William Shamspeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct? Oh, heaven, oh, hell, do you command me to remember that sweet poison that discrossed me and crossed mine innocent lips? I subpoenaed him for the trial with the doctor's permission, naturally. In the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt of the jurors' minds, I'm sure. Behold, ye have only to arrange the letters of my name to see that me is a seraph, an angel indeed. Thus be I, a noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart as all heavenly angels be. Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all. Jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. Actually taking the seraph anagram idea seriously? Thank you, witnesses, for your eliminated introductions. My lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shamspeare doing here? The gas man, I mean. No, what, me? Well, now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impotence? You suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question. Moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin stroker is here to controvert your wild claims conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meterman? Yeah, hang on. No, I'm just here. Recall for your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as loosely as possible what happened on the night in question. One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of that wintry night of my discontent. The snow lay about. My neighbor did come within the evening, bearing a gift of tea. The merry bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. It was the tea alone to pass my lips that late hour, not else. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited the room but that short little round-backed Eastern fella. Why were you looking at his room? Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamspeare's room all night? That's right. Of course, the bloke's window has all been blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that. Question is, sir, why? Ah, well, now that's because he's on my list. What a piece of work is a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment? What are you talking about? This is a buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, and make no ado about his tedious words. What do you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more. Indeed, that is so. And, as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there is no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. I think this will be the final testimony of this trial. What the heck, dude? So, oh, okay.
Hold it!
Bullet! To be clear, my neighbor, you are referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsumi. No, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst I call him the man from upstairs. At what time did the mustache nippities visit you in your room? A meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo did he come, a tender gift of fragrant tea. Which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes. We were embroiled in such a literary debate as history not hath seen before. What I presume he means a discussion about who was the stronger, Romeo or Juliet. I Shamsphere. To play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as well would our characters be to bring the weight of our merry experiment. I dare not imagine the scene. Frailty, thy name is woman. Can't still imagine how dismayed I was. Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of jujitsu, but ne'er did I dream it would be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. Juliet beat Romeo up. This is not helping her case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debates. Perhaps you can reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding. This guy has something else.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsumi left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. If the defendant has really put the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain. Gladly. Tis an easy task. What? I did drink of the tea, not while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour past midnight, I verily my lips parched. That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire. After all, thou wouldst recall our fiery debates. Amid such argument, there'd be no time for fiery tea. We're Juliet again, and who is stronger? Mr. Shamsphere, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stooped lover of words that attempted to shuffle me off this mortal coil. You don't know what that means.
Hold it!
So you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner? Supper? Ah, fie on luxury, fie on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? I would that my belly were full. No more often the sun doth rise. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say. And today do I fill my hours with the learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence it is there doth not in my chamber be then the costumes of mine art. That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved in the room. Now I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single player script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. You've eaten them? Everywhere be within my skull. Just don't imagine otherwise. Right, that wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea. Huh.
Hold it!
Windows of that house have all been filled in. A historical artifact of the now defunct window. Yeah, you're right, there. All bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. Looking in through that gap. Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there? For some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap line up on the ledge outside as well. I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. Them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing. I'll just breath in my body. What's with all the theatrics? Out of interest, Mr. Meterman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. We could therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can we be sure of that? Police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room and hence didn't dispose of the poison's container himself, clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Ah yes, lucidly explained, counsel. Thank you. Really was. You can't argue with the logic.
Hold it!
You say a short, little, round-backed Eastern fella. You can't be sure it was a defendant.
Objection!
How many other short, little, round-backed Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap, but it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. We showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself. When the person you saw arrived, did he and Chancellor drink tea together? Nah, sorry, I couldn't say. Why not? Because I couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? But what I did see was a silhouette of that little brown-backed fellow wearing a pretty dress. And then the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match, I tell you. I didn't know what to make of it. Huh. I suppose that was a Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway. Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question. Gasman's honor. My lord! Goodness me. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gone on for long enough. Are you all with me? Yes! We understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another. You've reached a unanimous decision. To right we have. Are you all with me? Yes! No! The defense is in the middle of a cross-examination. To be honest, I was holding out on a bit of hope for you, young man, especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room. Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it. But in the end, what difference did they make? And as far as I can see, since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer. Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 bob with me tonight, the missus will blow her top. Eh, what's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. That guy's a surge. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your learning to the defense.
Guilty!
What?
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh my god.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty!
Cringe. That's okay. Oh, all of you. Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous. So this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. The guilty being punished. Get up, Mr. Naruhodo, please. Trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Mrs. Otto? About the information I found in the Encyclopedia of British Law I have. There's sheer right that belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember? A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. Here in a British court of law, if we can reverse the decisions of the majority of the jurors, we force the trial to continue. Trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. Defense moves to invoke his right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. So I know the defense counsel in recent times has exercised the right to summation examination. Because they all know that once a jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. Defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with the summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young lad's tenacity. We're ready for it. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime which he stands accused. Victim may not be well, but he's a double magistrate. There's no reason not to ban. Are you clear? Excuse me. Gosh, that was gross. Ew. I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Look at the accused by comparison. He's a Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy. What the frick? There's no evidence to suggest that the gangly actor is a fraudster, for now, at least. I really don't care. Like, I just need this done quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know. Nothing at all. I knew it. Every single one. Completely convinced. See that all the jurors come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamster is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen. If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. Tell you, nothing Mr. Natsumi has said appears to have registered at all. Well, here goes. Let's not forget, I pleaded with the jury at second steps we had before, and it worked, so you never know. Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm not going to read the explanation. No need. Thank you for the kind offer, Mrs. Otto, but I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary. Of course, I understand, and I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. I'll be here for you. Aww. Keith is really listening carefully to each juror's statements. Finding two that are contradictory, meaning the corresponding jurors against each other. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars? I've no doubt about it. Like that shaken client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Natsumi is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was the Japanese man's tea. If you take the Jay Gassman's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be more clear, any clearer. That's alarmingly logical. Let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with the gentleman's values. Turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all. I gladly changed my decision about the defendant. I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the journey would do the same. Isn't that right? Well, yes, perhaps. I don't see it happening. Hey, what's that? Elderly gentleman, you know. Speak up. Look, I really don't care about all this nonsense. I need the trial to be over. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir. Don't do that. Don't forget what you said.
Hold it!
Can you believe that the man is to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid? No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. A reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid. So you say it again. Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously. It's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all. Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much.
Hold it!
Not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese. He has a mustache and he stoops. So you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. You'd be several steps ahead of yourself, though, and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. The victim's version of events is backed up by what the big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh. There's another 3 steps. Oh, this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it? Right, and the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more.
Hold it!
A fraudsman? What do you mean by that, madam? It really is the most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating. We have suspicion that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. Can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Good gracious, Altamont Gas, you say? Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree. Absolutely, Lady Quisby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world, of course. We may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier. The bow. Right, he bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? So, would I be right in assuming the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Chancellor was up to in his room? Afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End will go in order to steal our gas. We have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudman. To inspect a worker to watch the suspect that day, and I were very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Chancellor wouldn't come out and say it in public? You can send visitors with a grubby little gas thief. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you? The eye of man hath not heard. The ear man hath not seen. Faith, which thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin. But serious here, not insult, only choirs of angels in song. May not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. When they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights of the Altamont gas explosion. Chancellor has been stealing gas. Wonder, juror number 4. You wouldn't mind adding that information to your statements. My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping the thief apart you enjoyed? A little before the part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble. Yes, of course. This could be it. This could be the ship to balance.
Hold it!
A bold claim. I'm gonna be so sure. It's really very simple. Noble Lady of Gas, I pray thee, hold thy tongue. I beg your pardon. Hath thou the rank ordered air that doth our darkness illuminate any place in this assembly? Nay, 'tis a solemn port here that someone would extinguish the light of mine own life. Verily, I ne'er recall stealing thy gas, but pray let the matter rest till anon. Why, you little... Beg your pardon, my lady, but might I suggest you don't say any more at this stage? We need hard evidence first. If I keep secretly watching this bloke, I'll get him in the end. He'll slip up. Maybe that secret's out of the bag. Oh, this is so frustrating.
Hold it!
I have a need to take home some money. What's that all about, sir? Finish last, that's what it's about. What's that? Talk about out the Derby Hyde Park on it. It was the Queen's Cup last week, wasn't it? The Derby? It was a debt, sir. That's the thing. I couldn't lose. So my wife's secret statement's like, but then that hopeless old Mary went and did the unthinkable. Oh, that stupid finish last. Oh, dear. I think it's clear what happened, isn't it? This is the day that Mrs. uses her statements for a trip down the pub. Oh, come on. Let this business line up. Just give it up. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah, sorry, Johan. I did a Nickelodeon tournament on Thursday, and so I was like, I'm going to play on Saturday instead. This might be the new norm.
Hold it!
What do you really mean by that, sir? Well, I'm not one to boast, but I get up at 5 every morning, I do. At 5? You're a really early riser then, aren't you? Hey, what's that now? I said you're an early riser. Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to while away the hours of the evening reading books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I'm usually too tired to go on. He sleeps at 2 in the morning and gets up at 5? Oh my, that means he only has 3 hours of sleep each night? Hey, what's that, dear? Only 3 hours of sleep each night. That's right, you see. 3 hours of missing time. Like I said, it's not much, is it? This really isn't helping. The submission examinations is identifying contradictions between juror statements, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, and once I've found 2 jurors whose statements can't coexist, I need to put those jurors against each other. Hopefully, when they see that what they're saying doesn't make sense, they'll change their leaning. Yes, and if you're able to change the minds of a majority of the jurors, the trial will continue. But conversely, if you're unable to do that, judge will declare the trial over and move to adjudication. I can't let that happen. Somehow or other, I had to turn this trial around.
Objection!
You These two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious. Who's you statements refer, counsel? Juror number 1. Hey, what are you yelling about, lad? I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas. Well, yes. The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief. So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard say as much. It's true, we don't have evidence as such just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know. What? You heard me. CNAS's operation has already been compromised. I suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch officer employee over there. I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Gaspin's honor. Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shamspear was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Yes, I did say that. As a man of honor, I'll hold to it. And as I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will. Me? Oh, well, yeah. Now that we found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further. Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. If this means you'll recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground. Oh no, I'm not having any part of this. I want the trial over and done with. In that case, I shall change my leaning. So, Mr. William Shamspear, if that is your real name, the other jury demand to know exactly what kind of man you really are. Aw, yeah. That's 4 jurors. 4 were not guilty. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Victory! Order, order. Any thoughts or theories for the case of the game or the game? At least for this case, I think the Gasman and either the Gasman has some reason to kill him, or the Gasman is working together with Shamspear to try to get Natsumi in prison for some reason. I think it's a setup. Because okay, if it is true that Natsumi is innocent, and if Shamspear is saying that Natsumi did it, then that means Shamspear has to be lying, and he has to be lying about how he got poisoned, and he's trying to frame Mr. Natsumi. In terms of the actual game, I don't think I know enough. All I know is that apparently something at the end of this case will give me some information. I haven't really changed my theories based on what I've said to you at the end of the first game. The only 2 jurors say guilty whilst forced not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord. In order for the trial to continue, I know that the 4 names that we found at the end of the first game are of extreme importance. And I'm pretty sure that, was it Shen or Shin, is related to Van Zeeks, or it's Mikotoba. I think it's between Shin and Mikotoba as the one that Van Zeeks knows. But based on his reaction, it sounds like the person he was used to passed away. But it would actually make sense for it to be Mikotoba too if it was a betrayal of some kind. I don't know. I'm not sure where this is going to go. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find that they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me. I do swear. This Gasman speaketh that which concerneth him not but a gas, not but thin air. Aye, it burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul. Oh, what do you say? Particular, Mr. Shamspear, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery. Most heartily, my lord, hast thou forgot I am as a seraph, an angel, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart. Are you flowery mouth pompous beanpole? Just because I haven't got the evidence yet. Mr. Shamspear, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. If I consider opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit for this crime has been identified, all testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case. Oh no. However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further. I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4. Yes? Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do. Don't we, worker? Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gasman's honor. Very well, then. We will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why I believe the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare, has been stealing gas. Yes, my lord, it would be my pleasure. On the Altamont gas name, I swear. If I may, my lord. Go ahead, madam. This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind. Wahoo! Oh yeah, Sweetest on it! Yeah! Weirdo. Very well, as an exception, I shall honor your request. Thank you, my lord. You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna say, you mark my words. What? You'll both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont. Oh, maybe he's like thinking she's gonna absolutely... I think he wants to... I don't know what's going on. This is weird. This guy's weird. They're all weird. This guy's especially weird. He might be in it on it with the guy, with, Gunners and Mrs. Sato. I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo. Is that really true? I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont gas meters accept threepenny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key. Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is? I forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn my hollow chalice. Also, I wonder if Garrett... What if it's actually Garrett who's stealing the gas? Did the mustache Nipponese person poison the gangland excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet now we must listen to this abhorrence. Really, what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. This could turn out to be crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. Do what you will. Lord Van Zeeks appears to be in a violent mood. Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incident of gas theft with no supporting evidence? It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance. But I wonder. The truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is.
Hold it!
Does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. Have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsumi's room before as well as that of Mr. Shamspeare? Well, now, interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me, it really is. And Mr. Natsumi, he probably spends all his gas money on books. When he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for a while. Can I reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman? Much to state, really, but as you wish.
Hold it!
So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they? They're the latest model, the height of technology developed by our company, Altamont Gas. Anyone who uses their gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. So if a 3-pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people use about 3 coins in a night. A bit more than that usually, if they have both a gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Saseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? To Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsumi's room, actually. How does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, Gasman let me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters for coins. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Ah, because they had to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. Jeepers, that looks like it would be scary to get hit by.
Hold it!
Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks. He has been pinching gas faucets for ages. You've examined the meter in Mr. Sandspear's room, I take it? Naturally. We took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume? No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter be produced. With an indestructible lock. The Shamspear Special. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of the 3 penny pieces. Even after all that, the rascal mirror was still empty. Never forget the humiliation when I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said, you what? Look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight out the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jimmied open anywhere, not a single sign. And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what? Life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing became of it. I've still got it. Oh? Right here. No wonder they call you meter. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. Definitely. At first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Oof.
Hold it!
Only one key for all of your meters? Well, in truth, there's another key in the company vault at our main office. Even if someone had somehow managed to get a hold of the key, we'd know if the coin box had been opened. Oh, how? I came up with a rather clever way to expose any little shenanigans as it happens. Would you care to explain? Well, now, in order to empty a meter, you have to unlock the padlock and remove the cover. But when I close the cover again, I stick a little beeswax seal on it, you see? A seal like the sort of thing you put on an envelope, you mean? Something like that, yeah? Basically, you can't remove the cover again without breaking the seal. Now, in the case of Mr. Shamspear's meter, there were no coins inside at all, as I said. But the seal hadn't been broken either. So that would mean Mr. Shamspear somehow managed to steal coins from inside the meter without opening it. It seems so, but that would be impossible. Unless Gyarados is doing it. Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. That's
Hold it!
I don't know what is. How do you know that he's been using gas, though? Well, now, since I started investigating this bloke, I've been to his room more than a few times. On every single occasion, his lamps have been ablazing and still pounding. It's the middle of winter, and he still turns to me, sweat dripping down his cheeks, and says, "Get thee to a nunnery." Hamlet, indeed. Alright, I get right, ring the bloke's neck. I go all hot under the collar, but still, every time I open the flaming meter, it's empty. What's wrong with me and my salary, too? What's wrong with the world? Where's the justice? How could Mr. Chancellor possibly be stealing the money? I don't understand. Simple explanation is right before your eyes. What? A toast to your eventual realizing that the gasman could be an accomplice. You what? Good lord, intimately plausible indeed. Well, what do you have to say? Oh, please, Lady Quimby, I'm a faithful worker. And besides, if the money Gasman collected don't tally with how much gas has been used, you got paid by the same amount. You'd be stealing money only to have the same amount taken from your wages. Clearly, that makes no sense. Perhaps it's a case of losing the battle to win the war. No, I'm not going to disturb the hornet's nest. I want stealing with the company, that'd be finished. But it seems there is no evidence to support the claims of thievery made against the victim. Because Mr. William Shamspear is innocent. Pray forgive me if that shatters some illusion my learned Nipponese friend was clearly under. Ugh. Certainly did expect to uncover another crime that looks like it's been taking place in the very same room. According to the testimony, it's only the meter in Mr. Chance's room that's under suspicion. It does seem as though perhaps it has nothing to do with the incident involving Mr. Natsumi. I know it does seem that way, but the fact is, since I've been practicing law in England, I feel like I've encountered this at least once already. Cases that are interlinked. Oh. I'd seen the two cases have nothing to do with one another at first, but in fact, they're intimately connected. Yes, we have experienced that before, haven't we? I wonder if this is another instance. Perhaps, but we can't be sure of that yet. The Altamont Gas Company has been investigating Mr. Chancery so earnestly. There must be something to it. But then, how has he been stealing gas? Very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it? I'm about to seal the beeswax too. So Mr. Jones didn't mention you kind of immediate. Naruhodo, mischief that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Jones would. You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you? Well, anyway. Don't do it. Don't do it. What's up, Keeper? Understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money directly there. Does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Oh. Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruto? Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see? Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed. It's not a very needle, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say. Do you think it might have been opened by Mr. Sandsphere? Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it. Well, certainly it seems to go all the way through to the inside. Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there. That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious. Keeper, what the heck? Let's see, what if, okay, I'm gonna guess it's this statement. The mirror doesn't appear to have been tampered with, and I'm gonna say this, it has been tampered with.
Objection!
Wait, Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with. What? Get away! I've been over and over that thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Hole what? You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole here. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. Stop it, Keeper. Stop it. Actually, we actually spoiled someone with a Star Wars thing the other day, so actually be careful with Star Wars stuff. Oddly enough. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Sandsphere secretly opened this hole by himself. Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised, but why? Yeah, why? I mean, this tiny. You could get a farther through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what I'd specifically like to know is... how does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin that's been fed is a thrumpany in that pit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. They're older than that. Or wait, no, you're right. They're that's true. They are 30 years older. Wait, they're a little bit older than 30 years, I think. Somebody bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. You see, other coins just won't fit. I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. Witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord.
Hold it!
But conversely, then, it would seem that anything matching a 3-pence coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness would equally be used. Would that be true? Well, yes, in a way. That weight comes into it at a certain extent as well. We thought of that though. Anyway, if I find any fake coins at the coin box and in the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times what they did as a fine. Live in moments like that, us gas men do live for them. Ha ha ha. It would seem the gas company has thought of everything. Wahoo! Hooray for gas! Hooray for cash! Altamont all the way! That's quite enough of that. Remind me, how big are Thrumpany bits? About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is this 2 centimeter measurement significant? Or perhaps some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Asking about whether the meter can be dismantled, for example. Yeah, let's delve deeper. How can the meter be dismantled? Dismantled? Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced. Wondering if perhaps, rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart. Well, yes, that does make some sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel. And the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. I can assure you, it's quite impossible to dismantle it. Wahoo, yeah, nothing leaks from the Altamont meter, no coins, no gas, no nothing. I see. I'm going to inform testimony with that information in case it is pertinent.
Hold it!
Anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they tried, but they've all given up before long. After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action. Yes, that makes sense. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is it well the steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? I feel like it's the coins more than the steel. Soap. 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 It's the soap.
Objection!
Frick! No, I jumped the gun! I jumped the gun! Shoot! I think it's the soap. He was making the little red. He was using the soap. He's using soap. I think he's using the soap. No! Dang it. Dang it. I think it's the soap. No, 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 no. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's the soap. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the soap. But it's not the input, but it's losing the medallion. Of an entry, we find the soap of the scene. Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window. We took this one. I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle of there. I remember it clearly. Yes, there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? Oh my gosh, it was the soap! I just had to— I already examined it! Are you
Objection!
kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was right because I pre-examined it at the beginning of the trial, but I didn't examine it again so to get that information. That's stupid. Cringe, dude. I was actually right. I blundered, but I was actually right. Oh my gosh, dude. Meter would accept any object as a company bid. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, we were investigating Mr. Chanspier's room. We found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Isn't it the same size as a Thrumpany bit? What was it? The item in question is this. What have you been inhaling gas? It's a bar of soap. It really looks nothing like a Thrumpany bit, I must say. Looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's the part about the soap? Is the part here.
Got it!
To turn over the soap to see what I mean. Ah, I'm referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there. That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as the Thrumpany bit. Get away! Anyone here present have in their possession a Thrumpany bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a Thrumpany bit. Now, to see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected, this, without a doubt, is a vital clue explaining the Altamont gas is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it. You must have a million chalices. So your search amounts to what? Some inferior bar so has a tentative connection to the gas? Yes! The depression in the soap was clearly made by a Thrumpany bit. I must concur at least that polishing a coin was somewhat forced into a poor quality bar so that it's a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mound. You can make fake coins in no time. Into all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Chancery has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. This is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker would have found them when he entered the meter. Quite truly, Altamont, in the absence of some black magic that would make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Exactly. And the meter gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. That is your searching count. The defense will identify these remnants for the court. Where on the meter can the remnants of the method used? Is it the wax? Oh, you used the wax.
Got it!
The answer is right here. Clearly, this is highly suspicious. Well, rather vague answer when you say counsel. What's highly suspicious, I would posit, is my learned deputy's friend's panic-stricken expression. What? It's not the... Oh, I thought he was using the... Jeez. Well, that sucks. Take response carefully before trying again. I mean, they just want me to point out... They want me to point this out again? The hole?
Got it!
This bar is up at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meter Man, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where you found the soap. Ah, I get it. That's right, the answer, of course. Oh, it's ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Chancery has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. And he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As the room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made by the underside of the meter. As well, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all over some bars of soap and some water? That's right, madam. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest a bit of soap and water can render it totally useless? I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence. Sorry? I want evidence. If you're going to stand here and tell us our meters are rubbish, I want to see the proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Very well, Lady Altamont. I feel like evidence. I'll prove it or provide it. What? Mr. Naruto, are you sure? Are you saying you actually have evidence to support this theory? I didn't notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. Pieces of evidence that substantiates a theory about how Mr. Chancellor has been stealing gases. Aha!
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. It clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shanspeare. What remnants? You can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shanspeare's room now. Look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly, it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter. Ah, if one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, you can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly. Even a stain on the floor. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Sanchez slowed over on his table, apparently having consumed whatever the poison is. Right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right. It would appear to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not. He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Chancery was found with a fork in his hand. He was soap is sounding increasingly like the organisms. You mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. Extract the frozen coin from the bar of soap. Ah, the bar broke in half. Perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious. Lord Van Zeeks. Throwing my hand up in despair. And happened to catch my hollow bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, Counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? Well, that Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it. That's exactly it. Very well, let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well, we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no signs of another vessel that contained poison. On the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. Young Gassman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever to suggest otherwise. You know, William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be. These facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You... What? Order. Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond? Mr. Naruto? What was the point of that last cross-examination? I guess they were ordered to make no difference at all. Lord Van Zeek's saying. Raise an objection. Raise an objection! No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But, counsel, you successfully explained everything. You identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Sanchez to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Van Zeek just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. The contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of these so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. The situation has changed now. Following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider. Namely, We now know the water freezing method. I think the question is, was the poison in the tea? Maybe. Because he's able to get water. Is that what it's trying to be? I don't think it's, was there another visitor? Unless, wait a second. Okay. So here are my two trains of thought so far. If the Gaspin was watching the whole night, he should have seen he might have, was someone else responsible? Was there another visitor? I actually think the poison could have been in the tea. What if there was somebody else entirely who poisoned the victim? That's your assertion. By all means, tell us who it was. Ah, yes. Well, who was this mysterious third party, counsel? It's a little too soon to be naming names, my lord. On the contrary, it's a little too late. Much like your defense. Crap. Is there a chance he was trying to make more ice coins on the night in question? I feel like that's a clue here. It's pointing towards something else. I think it's a visitor then, because they must have encountered each other. What if the victim did in fact have another visitor besides Mr. Natsumi? If that's your assertion, by all means tell us who it was. Wait, what? Are you serious? If he was making coins, wouldn't he have encountered the guy? Okay, I guess it is the tea. Alright. Weird. I thought it would have been because we all been led to the Citrikine poison was afflicted was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsumi. That's conjecture at best. Victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There is no other possibility. There was no trace of the tea left at the scene. It couldn't be tested for traces of poison. As I said, the situation has changed because, in fact, Mr. Natsumi's tea was left at the scene. Oh!
Objection!
Ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? That's what that brown thing was! Oh, he used the tea to make the coins. I'm stupid, man. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? That the stain is brown. Is it that it was cold? This is a bit risky.
Take that!
Which exactly is this piece of evidence supposed to reveal about Mr. Natsumi's tea counsel? Ah, oh, crap. Man. I'm not doing well. I am really struggling in this game. I'm not... Okay. Shoot. I'm doing very poorly. I've game overed in both cases so far. Shoot. I am not doing good. Looks like a gift sub will probably be coming eventually. Alright, I'm not thinking clearly enough. While I do this, I'm gonna get some more water. I think the best thing I can do in this case is get more water because I'm out. Clear my head a little bit.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
That's kind of frustrating. I am not doing well in this game at all. I did quite well in the first game up until the last case, but this game I have not been doing good. It's my 5th blunder in an hour and a half. That is not good. All right. All I can do is drink water and rethink things again. I think it's the crime scene. I think it's the color. It's not the color of the stain. Let's see. I thought like maybe when they were, so the reason that you think? Wish I could disappear down to... Okay, because it said what evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea. The reason is I thought this looked like it's a water stain, but I thought with the tea that was a brownish color, so I thought this would be like he used the tea as the frozen coin. But I guess it's not the soap. It's not the soap, or I mean, it's not the cup or the crime. What evidence is the scene of the crime from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? I don't think it'd be this, because this wasn't at the scene of the crime. One of those albums didn't buy with letter openers, did they? As whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament, and judging from the angle of the rapier, the person in question must have been right-handed. This is odd. I think perhaps someone's been reading too much of the intellectual. You never read too much of Mr. Haruto. Never. I don't think I have anything with this yet. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? It has to be the soap, right?
Take that!
Be gracious. The soap again. Same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice. Yes, that's right, my lord. It just came back to me. Something about when we first found this bar. It's up at the scene yesterday. Is it gonna be because it had the dark coin in it? Like, I know it has the dark coin in it. Or it did. It was criterion when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap. There was actually a frozen coin in each bar. He discovered the gas-used coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found at the soap at the time weren't normal ice. There was something strange about them, you mean? Exactly, something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red? No, you mean... That's right, it's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. What? I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsumi earlier in this trial. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shanspier's room as a gift. Public water pump outside would always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water especially to make it. This is the result. Never will I touch tea again, never. Ah yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the east end were prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Samsphere, having no running water to use, was forced to use a tea brought by Mr. Nassim in order to make his fake coins. My word. There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and we only borrowed one of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Sansphere's window. Extraordinary. Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even 1 drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. Holy frick, this is actually like... This is like 7 head. As such, we're not in a position to prove or disprove, which has now been more than conjecture. I don't know for sure whether or not Mr. Nassimu's tea actually contains citrixine at all. Ah, you smug Nipponese. My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap at the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Bailiff, bailiff, instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord, understood. Oof, this game is rough. Okay. It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I judge you have no objection, Lord Van Zeeks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. Prosecution and defense may construct further investigations? Yes, my lord. Oh. Oh my. We're going to part 2? Well. Managed to scrape through there somehow. Take a cause in the court of your show tomorrow. My gosh. Brutal. But we made it. Barely. Ooh, we made it back in one piece. Just, to be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense of Naruto-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. Now that your fervent exploits have won us some precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Everything all right? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it. That's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, I mean. And the Old Bailey, no less. Into the shovel! Truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. Kazuma-sama's wish that you followed him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. Poor Kazuma. I miss him. You're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I have no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thank you, Suzato-san. Thank you. Man, they always kill off the cool mentors. What the heck? Oh, we'll have to examine the shovel. Perhaps you should put this spade away somehow. That's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Well, doesn't really matter, does it? It's alright, Naruto-san. We mustn't quarrel over such trifles. On reflection, I think I'll leave the spade where it is. Because I think that's for the best. We need a shovel when we're working in the garden. Too bad there's no like spirit channeling technique in this era. Oh well. It's quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then find out that he is actually a barefaced gas thief as well? Yeah, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Saseki-san poisoning the tea. Careful your phrases, Hana-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Chancellor than we yet know, I'm sure of it. Mr. Chancellor certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital where we was... Sorry, but the, let me see. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, on Bart's at London as Londoners. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Mrs. Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken. Ah, yes, after Saseki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful if you're crazy, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone. Or as we both know, Saseki-san. Apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. What's next? So we know that Saseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Chancellor's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Chancellor's room that will help us solve the mystery. Well, actually, Scotland Yard detective has been over the place already, but it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely! I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea leaf, into the bar of soap. While we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask about that. Kazuma Asogi. Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. Really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, so furious and determined at the court. After the trial, like crazy that he came up with. Yeah, the stowaway. Yeah, so you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial, that you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. I never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. Got to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. Can't hurt for you to see with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no. Never mind. One day. Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts, too. Change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. That's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right. But... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Kazuma's true intentions. We'll find out this game. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? I mean, this katana. Never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. The Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, we'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I'd hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I've not found a single clue. I see. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we're hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has the right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yeah, one other thing. Soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right, and there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section of the yard now. They're looking into it. Results should be available later today. That's wonderful news. Thank you. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. Oh, did I just get praised? Ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat, but for the needy, London's winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful, too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Shizatan and I are going to make it to spring. That's true, we don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look how dark the center of the floor is underneath the meter there. From all the water dripping out right after the ice coins melted as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? The chance he must have been using an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It's an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Turns out Mr. Jancy wasn't eating the soap at all. That's right. The mystery of why he had it on a plate while pulling the fork in the hand. Yes, to pray. Where's the other half of the soap? And how come, why did the gas man see him doing the thing? And in the process, he actually broke the bar soap in two. Certainly was hard to imagine, let alone to dose. Sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. Yet, while enough determination, or with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks and set some soap outside, can't you? That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mrs. What have you planned to follow? A life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo? You're looking for new clues, Inspector. On Lord Van Zeek's orders, yeah. Don't come back till you've got something for me, he says. Oh dear, poor you. Yeah, poor me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and granny in this place. I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips is all I can say. Well, at least he's honest. The ill-fated teacups from which these two men drank on that ill-fated night. During the heated literary debate, yes, who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. That's fiction, Mrs. Idle. Let's hope it stays that way. Peace. Well, looks like I have no reason to come here yet. How do you have fire on all the time? The security appears to be out. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. What do you suppose is happening? Sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken. Mistaken, my foot, you were looking at my painting. The eye of man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. Is foul indeed the poison that mustache villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady. I wish that you die from that poison. God of mercy, ample lady. Thou seest I have vigor still. You my shame spear dance. It's rather ominous, doesn't it? Oh, hello. 'Tis the lawyer from the land whence rises the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear? Mary, I do believe I am returned to another ward. He was looking, that's what he was doing. Looking at my terrible work. Eastern fellow, so darkly clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Well, thank you? But this doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? Anon, exeunt. Attention might technically be the victim in this case, but there is definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person. Miss Green, is everything alright? Oh, yes, I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Oh, I see. I'm delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. Are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yeah, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. Terrible week it's been for you. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly. Really? Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh yes, of course. Sorry, take up your time when you're obviously busy. Fucking rats. Yeah, it's the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Do not feed. What is this place? A zoo? You know, I seem to remember seeing an almost identical sign in our local park. For the pigeons, yeah, this is a person. Poor woman, I hope she hasn't read this. All sorts of medicines in this cabinet. Look, I'm not sure if it's safe leaving them in reach of everyone like this. Yes, you're right. I can imagine if you were peckish, you might try a whole bottle or two. Well, at least there seems to be a little lock to secure the cabinet doors. I don't imagine that would stop you if you were hungry. I worry that you'd break the lock. Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal, you know, Mrs. Otto. Oh, they're the treatment notes for whoever is occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital. Everyone doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so... Here she's probably running around the hospital then. Oh dear, how worrying. What's worrying is why they haven't discharged the patient yet. One's blinking and fog again today in the sky is covered in cloud, but if you look carefully in the distance, you can just make out the Crystal Tower being built. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Crystal Tower, yes. Oh, I'm sure it has no relevance whatsoever. We're talking about the Great Exhibition in London at the moment, it seems. Well, it's to be the largest event of its kind anywhere in the world, with technology, with science from all over. I can't wait for it myself. Do you think visiting students from the Far East like us will be granted entry? Last Great Exhibition that was held in London had more than 6 million visitors, it seems, and this time, we're sure determined to make it an even bigger success. We outdo the Paris Exposition. I see, that's an incredible number of people. So many people expected to attend, we should easily be able to slip in unnoticed. Try the honest approach of buying tickets at the main entrance, Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Natsumi is back. So he is. Mr. Natsumi, hello. I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsumi is, or Herlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts, or trials, or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo trying to escape from reality. Trying to, he already has, completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name. Naruhodo's employee thought about his new identity. Maybe it's not too late to bring it back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsumi? I am not a cat. It worked! He's back at the real world. It's going to become a me. No! Don't answer that. It's obvious. My cursed soul's never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsumi, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes, yes. Look at Mr. Naruhodo as a brilliant, but... The Reaper's omnipresent in the court, in my lodgings, here, there, everywhere. What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Yes, yes, you must. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just blotted out, then today, being in that courtroom was the most moving experience of my life. Look, I'm so did Mr. Naruhodo Square! You're too kind. Currently, the artists on the remaining teeth, just as we deduced, and are analyzing as we speak. There's nothing wrong with the tea. Then we'll find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn sworn. Soseki, certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath of our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine. Come on, the fact that he was for here. Thank you. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. That rotten sham spear. What have I done to ever to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything at all! Right. What I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. You know what, Mr. Natsumi? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am, if I had money. I wouldn't have chosen to live in the cursed existence in the cursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed and it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of the capital offender who lived there still haunts the place. And it's trying to kill me. Capital offender? I have to look up student Mr. Naruhodo Squire that next time you visit me. Read scores of super soft soaps. You know anything about this? Mr. Natsumi, it's nothing much, but it's been too long since I've been out very present with the... You're too kind. I accept it completely. Sorry, but I wasn't trying to give it to you, actually. Now, where am I supposed... What am I supposed to do? See what the Sholmes and Iris are up to. Oh, Runo and Susie. Hooray, you're back. Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. Actually, what is that foul smell? Ah, the water is returned at last. Where on earth have you been? We've been in court? Oh, from Mr. Mustache's case. That was today, was it? Sure, I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Ha 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 ha. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really, I would have liked to see it. I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zieks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Neverhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes. Whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Oh, dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Lord Beric Van Zieks. Yes, it's an interesting sub-requit he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed, even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts. Sooner or later, the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. Vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames, succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue, being set upon by highwaymen. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least. That's not overly reassuring. The rumors are true, though. The obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zieks' own hand. As it happens, Mr. Zato, that is quite impossible. Oh, why? Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, Reaper has always a cast iron alibi. Really? So his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. Really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Runo. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky. Or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. So, what is that indescribable foul smell? Indescribably foul smell. Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my. There are some unscrupulous sorts of men in the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. Really sell what perpetrates to be the high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So one is presented with what appears to be black tea. One must be careful. Iris! Dude, are we... No way. Dude, I feel like we're about to be like, by the way, guys, this actually isn't tea. Let's add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. You see what happens? Oh! They're completely black. What a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes, the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It appears that this cup was particularly fine to Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you with that black liquid now? Why dispose of it naturally? Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are exciting times. I regularly engage in the scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. Sherlock Holmes' method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This OT indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic scientific research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Man, we are going back and forth. With Mr. Natsumi, who I'm currently defending being Japanese, as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Laura Van Zeke seems to have an inherent disdain for the Japanese. Indeed, it is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Holmes? It was about 10 years ago that Barrick Van Zeke chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion, who we heard about, hails from the Empire of Japan. No, what the? Tell us more, Mr. Holmes. What happened? I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... because you know something? Probably because it's Suzawa's dad. That's ominous. It's either that or the Shin guy we keep hearing about. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who's most deserving of your attention, I believe. So, your T-test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases, then. As a more practical example is required. Fingerprints. Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. It's probably why I undertake research in this field myself, of course. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Holmes? There are others in that field already. And I don't want to come away with you. No, what I'm researching is skin prints. Skin prints? A nominal lecture of my own design as it is chemical agents. And it reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Holmes, as long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. Sure, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Runo. See you later. Yes, until later. No, Mr. Holmes, we were thinking you'd come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You said so just a moment ago. You said we was your forensic talent in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. Well, you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Bruno. Bye-bye, Susie. Mr. Holmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self? Who asked me to come to the scene? Oi! What are you doing here, Holmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems. Is now the time, Mr. Holmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talented actions as you promised? With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. What's all this? All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Sherlock Holmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Months ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample from Mr. Shamshier's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions in everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this. A refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. There, now. Spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray, how do I do that exactly? A little press of space in the area you're interested in is all that's required. What is that stuff? Looks like fog. The suspension of the chemical present is pressurized gases. Most specifically the large area. There's another invention discovered incidentally that while also developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try, my dear fellow. You may learn something interesting about the victim's movements in question tonight. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Ooh, fun. There are dozens of handprints here. So there are a great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out one individual print. It's chilled down my spine. Perhaps it was leaning against a wall while he was admiring this picture? Unlikely, I would say. Rather dull scene after all. Without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mr. Zato. It's a bit of a mystery, then. Well, well, well. Looks like we need to do a little investigation. Alright, am I missing something? I guess I'm supposed to spray stuff. Huh. Whoa! Oh, I thought... Wait, did those go away? I thought I already got those. I definitely feel like I've gotten everything. Am I not allowed to, like, leave? I can't take the glasses off. What do I do? Don't answer that. I feel like I've gotten everything. There must be something else, or I don't know how to... Either I can't take out the glasses, so I must be missing something, but I don't know what. I feel like I've gotten everything. Am I missing something? I'm confused. Yeah, I want to look at it. I want to like examine this. I actually want to like look further. I can't take the glasses off yet for some reason, which almost guarantees to mean that I have to find something else. But I'm confused. I could have sworn I've already looked up everything. I don't know what to do. I guess I have to keep spraying something. But I have no idea what it wants. I've already sprayed like everything. I don't really understand what else the game wants me to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I feel like I've already sprayed everything of importance, and yet it's not allowing me to get out of this. Which must mean that I have something else I need to do. What confuses me, I don't know what I'm supposed to spray. What the hell? I am really confused. Because it's okay, so if it's not letting me take the glasses off, I have no indication that I can actually take the glasses off, which means I have to keep spraying. But where do I spray? Because I've already sprayed everything. Unless I missed something by the smallest amount. Oh, look at this here. Interesting. A multitude of victims' handprints. Perhaps maybe on the floor in this one spot. Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here. It's obvious that he would have tripped over, though. I thought I sprayed that. I guess not close enough. Personally, I haven't stumbled when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints are all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. See Mr. Stone's amazing skin print indicated all the room, didn't we? We did, but there are 2 places in particular that are of interest, I would say. Handprint on the floor there. And on the wall by the picture, you mean? Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. Ah, what is it, Mr. Zato? Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out. One of the... You mean... secret hiding place. Excellent work, Mr. Zato. So, what do we have in here? Oi! What are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson, stand aside right this minute. My job to investigate there. No need, Inspector. You can continue to dig into your portion of chips while we dig around under the floor here. Your fancy talk's putting me off my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Wow, secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. It's not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw at tatami mat. No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious? Oh, I'll investigate at once. Nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. How disappointing. But then how do you explain the handprints? I really can't think of why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that. There you are. A print for you. Oh, thank you very much. This invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know. So am I. And investigate. Love to know if there's anything hidden underneath that floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there. Seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Oh, I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. Alright then, fair is fair. What? We did discover the hiding place after all. Suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. There's one thing I know about this man. It's that he blows with the wind and signals the weather. Oh, stop making me to be some kind of nut. There were 3 items. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. And what do you want to know? Let's talk about this newspaper clipping. Looks like this was cut out of the newspaper about 3 months ago. About a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time in Manchester. How terrible. Made the headlines down here in London as well. Bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness, he committed a capital offense? Man by the name of Selden. SCPs are working to burglaries, murder. They say the 40 knockoff was worth about £1,000. Hoard of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like. We even hid it somewhere, and no one knows where. Now he's dead. Ah, could he be trying to find it out? Papers loaded, of course, £1,000 lost en route to hell, such was the headline. Does not strike you, though. Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor. I suppose I mentioned. Yeah, it seemed a bit odd. Have to go over the paperwork we got and sell them back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. This is the photograph. It looks reasonable. Whoa! Wait, he was with Miss Green's office. Oh my gosh, I knew it. He's connected to the case. Appeared to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. The gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrett, the landlord, of course. Who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrett's son, perhaps? Perhaps you could take that print if you like. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows the identity of the young fellow that is. Ah, is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Fortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Well, I know who you can ask. I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. Mr. Shamspeare himself isn't in it. Your prints are still rare treasures in the East End. Mr. Garrett was rather delighted to have it immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it. This is the tin box. Looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it and write something inside that reveals the truth behind this case. I wouldn't be the least surprised. Yeah, funny enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shamspeare, give us a clue, man. You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruto. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air, it's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there more to this box then? I wonder. This box is the key to everything. Kitty! Oh, look, it's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name? It's Mr. Natsumi's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsumi references to himself in Japan. How you got in here, clever cat? Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I brought to you from the cat's meat man. Aww. Hee. He couldn't be happier now. Look. I hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Amazing. Meow. That was a cheeky little meow guy. Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to. But, Kitty. Where did he come from? Looks like we're good for now. Let's go to Megaredeb, see if he's back. It looks like he is not back. However, you know what really bothers me is this. Excuse me, Miss Green. I want to present this to you. Can I present this to you? I can't present this to you? Frig. All right. Let's see. Let's see, where can we go from here? Looks like we got everything from Shamspears. Let's go back to Briar Road. Anything change here? Nope, not a bit. Well, let's go visit my good friend Natsumi. Do I have any evidence that I could present to him? Prison. Never mind, I have nothing to present to him. What's up, Spiker? Well, there's nothing with this, huh? Pretty sure I've investigated everything thoroughly here. My favorite case from the first game? I did like 1.5 a lot. I actually kind of liked 1.3. Not because it, like, obviously 1.3 was a rough ending, but it was like it was interesting to be in that position of like, okay, I know this is suspicious, but we couldn't like figure it out. So I actually did like 1.3, and 1.4 is not bad either. But I guess 1.5. But I actually did like 1.3 a lot. I actually liked all 5 cases. I guess I'd put 1.5 a little bit above them though. He is not back? That surprises me. Oh, oops. I like something weird. True. We need to talk to Mr. Garadeb, though. And I can't. I don't think coming back here is going to be helpful. Yeah, I've already kind of struggled a little bit, but that's fine. I'm having fun. A nice spoiler-free experience is the best way to do it. I can find certain microbiology. You can focus on so many different things at once. So I should try drinking more herbal tea. The blended third from the straight. The blend third from the right would be good for you, Reno. Oh, Iris? This girl's destined for great things, I'm sure. Can't actually talk to anyone. Yo, Shady, how are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. I'm trying to figure out how this case is gonna work. What do I know about what do you know so far in this case? I know that Mr. Shamspear is a sham. They're making a new Fast and Furious movie. I've never watched those movies. I know that I know that Miss Green's lover, or whoever this is in this picture, is related to Mr. Garadeb. So I know that. I apparently can't talk to her. It's kind of weird. I don't think coming back here is going to do anything. Is there more to the room that I don't know about? I want to talk playing with Gregson. Some sort of makeshift stage. We already dealt with that conversation point. Hey, can you tell us anything about this? Nope. Nope, he doesn't know anything about that either. You know anything about the gas meter? Nope. This doesn't seem the place I'm going either, but Gyarados not back. Gyarados household and Mr. Natsumi's lodgings are in a prominent position there on the corner. When I look at the building, I can't help but feeling that it's a bit of a slant. Just like as though it would collapse in even the smallest earthquake. And it isn't supposed to be haunted as well. I think I might have a hunch as to why Saseki's on such a hunchback. Well, there seems to be a bicycle outside the Gyarados residence. And the bicycles are extremely popular all over Great Britain at the moment, in fact. That one seems very warped, though, especially the front wheel. Have to make it more of a challenge to ride, do you think? No, I'm afraid that may be a result of the rider's incompetence. For the front wheel to be so badly warped, I'm afraid the rider may have been similarly affected. Then there's a good chance Mr. Natsumi has been practicing on this bicycle, I think. Oh dear, I fear you may be right. Why somebody built a snowman on some sort of pedestal, do you think? A pessimist, Naruto. That's part of the snowman's body. Really? But it already has a perfectly good body. Well, it's true that British snowmen are usually made with 2 balls of snow. Perhaps this is a foreigner. I'm looking at him as if he's strange. Poor man. I know how he feels. If anything, it's Japanese and British 2-ball snowmen are the strange ones, isn't it? After all, real people do have 3 sections. Head, torso, and legs. You ever think that perhaps you think about things too much? Well, this doesn't seem to be where I'm supposed to go either. And I don't think I can present anything to... Well, the game doesn't seem to really be picking up the fact at this point of the time where this guy and the guy in the picture are the same. That means it's really important later on, but not important right now. But that said, where do I need to go next? Don't answer that. Don't answer that, chat. I mean, I could talk to Gregson, I guess? I don't know what else to do. No, I can't present to him. I'm really confused. Unless it's something to show them sweet. I'm not exactly sure. Curious how this normal metal chest is being used as a coffee table. More curious to think that Iris' father's notes about Mr. Schultz's case are inside it. You must look in there, Reno. Those notes are a secret between Daddy and me. Mr. Schultz isn't somehow in on the secret. Rarely tends to forget, you see, as soon as he solved the case, in fact. Once when he read my manuscripts, we had a terrible argument about it. Never have I solved such a case, he said. He was absolutely adamant. Sometimes I wonder if he's from another planet, don't you? I feel like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Although I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu, putting your legs under a warm blanket at table is so comforting. Be careful, Mr. Naruto. Don't mistakenly put your feet into the fire, will you? You'd suffer terrible burns, you know. I worry sometimes about how Suzato-san sees me. Enormous machine takes up the entire desk, doesn't it? It's really very imposing. Hurley's great analytoscope. You can analyze anything you want. I've never seen anyone actually use it. Well, it's his invention, so I don't know how to operate it. Why don't you get it to analyze its own operation? Bruno, you're razor sharp today, aren't you? That's the violin. So what am I supposed to do? The Garadeb, Mr. Garadeb is out. I'm not supposed to snoop around while he's gone because he's not here. Does that mean I'm missing something in Shamsphere's room? You can't say anything. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Where did you come from? Meow. We can't really learn more about this. It seems like the room is... This room has been investigated from top to bottom? I can't actually do anything with the print. I agree. I didn't see anything on Briar Road. I mean, I can present information in Natsumi. Just asking about this receipt. It occurs to me now that it was those confounded books that saw me arrested the first time, too. Yes, I suppose that's true. After I spent my precious pennies on them, that's the things I get. Now I don't know when I'll read them. No, not when. If I may very well hate them too much, so even open their covers. I don't know that we can blame the books for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsumi. I can only present evidence to him. I can't present evidence to Miss Green, or the inspector. Natsumi, what do you know about this? Ah, there it is! That lathery little life that took my neighbor's life and sent me flying to the depths of despair. So basically, it was a psychotic saboteur. Really gone off soap, haven't you? Absolutely, and I've made up my mind. The next time someone gives me soap as a present, it's friendship finish, firmly forever. I don't know that we can blame soap for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsumi. Nothing with the teacups. And I know about the connection to the picture, but Mr. Garrett hasn't gone home. What do you think of this, Shadow? Tarzan, what do you make of this? Oh dear, what indeed? Let me see. You don't know, really. It's fine to say so. I won't hold it against you. Yeah. Spiker. I'm going to time that out. And the reason I'm going to time that out is because, like, that is giving me direct information about speculations, hypotheticals, and I count that as spoilers. So I will see you in 10 minutes, and please don't make the mistake again. Why are you messaging me on Steam? Are you kidding me, bro? Stop! Let's see. Well, now I guess I'll present everything because it's gonna be in my head. What I know is what I know. I don't think the map's gonna matter. This won't matter. Let's see. So Garadeb is out. I presented these four to him. I'm pretty sure I presented the gas meter. Yeah, I did. Presented the envelope. That didn't matter. So it seems like I have nothing with Natsumi right now. Unless I'm completely missing something. I'm pretty sure I presented everything at this point. Man, I know there's a clear connection between the picture, but I have no way of... I don't have a way of making a connection. It looks like I can't examine anything. I tried talking to her, and I don't believe I can present to her while I'm mid-sentence. Yeah, I can't present it while I'm doing that. So this tells me that I'm not supposed to be here yet or make this connection yet because I've examined everything in this room. There's nothing to examine there. I looked at everything in Briar's Road, I'm pretty sure. And Garradeb isn't back. So I must be missing something. If Mr. Garradeb isn't back, then I must be missing something. Now, why is he not back? That's what I want to know. And I can't. Everything will just say we shouldn't snoop around while he's gone. And he's not. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So he's out. So I presented everything that to me and talked to him, and there was no. So I'm done there. I can't do anything here. Nothing here. Nothing in the hospital. I don't think there's anything in the legal consultancy. I mean, I would be really shocked if there was something that I significantly missed that's related to the case. I don't think any of this stuff has had anything to do with that. I mean, I can examine stuff and show them sweet, but I feel like I don't have anything to explore in here. Gives me a pretty neatly arranged as tea set is. My favorite one. In fact, I think it's high time for afternoon tea. Wait there. I'll fetch a special blend I prepared for the day. Oh, Iris, you do like your tea, don't you? She looks so happy at the prospect. After you've drunk it, I'll collect some experimental data, if that's alright. So what is she about to make me drink? Charming little white shelf. Full of charming little bottles, too. Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode. Charming shelf. Full of charming bottles and full of charming ingredients. You know, I really mistakenly drank from one of them the other day. What? And how? I think he was lucky though, he hasn't exploded yet. Chemistry can be a very hazardous occupation. Mr. Sholmes is a hazardous occupation if you ask me. I just don't see how any of this has relationship to the case. Oh yes, this is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? So what's on the blackboard today? Back up, Bruno. What is this? Oh, I'm just playing around with ideas for the title of the next month's installment. Another idea I had was the barrel coronet. Really torn about which one to use. What do you think, Bruno? Anything but fuck up Bruno, obviously. I suppose you're right. Tell you what, I'll surprise you with it. You'll have to wait until next month and see. Ugh, so many sleepless nights. Look at these mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, you know? Mrs. Zhao's eyes still sparkle every time she lays eyes on them. But yours don't, do they, Bruno? Well, I have read The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes now, by order of Mr. Zhao. Trouble is, having seen the real thing in action, somehow the stories don't quite ring true for me. Well, he does solve the cases in the end. I suppose so. I suppose there's more to the great detective than meets the eye. I really just don't think there's anything here. I'm just being safe and sorry. I mean, well, this isn't gonna help. Mr. Sholmes' famous violin. The one he found being sold for a sign at a pawnbrokery. What's it called again? Shoddy something? Oh yeah, it's this wonderful instrument features in The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Of world famous Stradivarius. Strata what? Wait, did he talk about the pawnbroker? The pawnbrokery hasn't happened yet. What the heck? Stradivor, are you even trying now? We'll come back to this another time, I think. Was that a typo? All sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. All heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. Looks as though it might topple, and yet it doesn't. Epitome of Mr. Sholmes' brilliance. I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well practiced when it comes to stacking shelves myself. Just the other day, the shelf in my office finally gave way under the strain, though. Which is my top one, it does. Yes, the epitome of your disarray. I really don't get it. Okay, so if I can't do anything, no, it might have to be Shamsphere's room again. I mean, I can't think of anything else. What am I missing? This is so hard. I presented all the evidence in prison. Do I have to listen to you again? Why in the world? Well, there's no... I can't do anything with that. And I can't explore anything related to here. Everything is checked. So I've already checked this, so no new clues here or here. There's just simply no new clues in this room. I presented everything to... I presented everything, literally everything, to Natsumi. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Am I missing? What am I missing? Books, check marks. Shouldn't be snooping yet. What could I be missing? It couldn't possibly. It couldn't. Wait, I presented this already, though. I presented this already, didn't I? Are you saying I didn't present this? Whatever. Newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamsphere's room. Hank confirms that Spiker did in fact spoil this for me. That is really, really sad. I say literally no spoilers and someone spoils something for me. That's actually so sad. So he knew, did he? Sorry. About this man, Selden, a convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that's inflicted by lodgings. What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another miserable mustache, malign Japanese man. Mr. Natsumi, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Knows everything you can about this evil spirit. I could have sworn I presented this. Ugh, it's so annoying. I'm even more annoyed that it was spoiled for me. Truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. At the time, he was hiding out in his lodgings at Mr. Garadeb's house. What? He lived? Where you do now? That's right, yes. Exactly where I live now. In my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense? But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsumi? It's already caused one death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison, a man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. Poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Not from the inside, exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's a convict's curse, is it? Yes. Well, that was the start of it. Tell me more, tell me more. Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsumi? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I found that out after I'd signed the lease. Mr. Garrett came to tell me later I couldn't stop trembling. In fact, if I had known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily illegal. Lucky for Mr. Garrett, maybe. Not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsumi. And I believe this curse is affecting you. It is. At first, I just felt as though I was being watched all the time. And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? That the dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Is it with the gas? Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up and the room is as cold as ice. Why is your room so cold? I don't know whether it's too cold to bear without any heating on overnight, but for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. That's terrible. Exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what's happened to Mr. Chancery last night. He mysteriously was poisoned. Could be more to that incident than could be explained by a curse, though. Whatever could be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrett's rooms. Garrett, it's time for you to talk. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garrett. All right, Bally business is it for me, you know? Getting out and about. You're at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss. Fate of what's already been dubbed in your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blaze is going on, don't you know? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsumi's other trial just 2 days ago, you were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what had happened. Stopped off at the prison on the way home. In fact, beastly business. I see. So, what brings you to my haunted abode today? Man, I can't believe I didn't present that article to him. I could have sworn that I did. Ah, some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. Comics curse, you mean? Heard the stories, have you? Ron Scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and he keels over. And there's the woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can you? When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed with a knife, and Mr. Chancery was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Firstly, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why? Sounds like the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. Well, there's no bath or toilet included. No fireplace either. You do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here. Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things. Is there any mishaps or such like? I think you've been a mishap already, sir. Ha ha ha. That's not helpful, Mr. Jones. Heavens, forgive me. The words came out of my lips. It's a fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? No need for that, Mr. Garrett. That's right, Mr. Natsumi is in no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right to look at that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away? Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone as he popped up this very same day. Never came across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were. I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually. But how long has Mr. Chancery been lodging under your roof? I feel that, chap. Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it. Only 3 months? He's quite new here, too, then. And what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrett, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Selden and Shamster have some kind of connection then? The convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago, you see. Some malady or other. Yes, you've seen the report from the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face, the actor fellow. Really? Yes, I remember quite distinctly. This small, this room we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamsphere, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered erewhile for rent. I'm terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. I already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor is vacant, though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat my will unto thee. These crows must be mumbling in your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor or nothing. Very well, we have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Hello, a chance for your dance to celebrate. For what I heard in court today, it sounds like the chap was Stephen Gass. It was 3 months. He was 3 months in arrears with the rent too. Yes, the fellow was a belly player, all right. Thank you for your kind, Mr. Garrett. We are most grateful. By the way of appreciation, I'm going to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then. Well, I got something to ask you about, Mr. Garrett. Mr. Garrett, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. There was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross. The street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really. By any chance, the lodger before Mr. Natsumi? Yes, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. So Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before the Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? Yes, Duncan Rose, young chap, was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it. Mine? Moved into the middle floor about a year ago, after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes? Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. I didn't quite work the old trick out of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers were up to at the time. Until I was rather tired to discover what had happened. The smell of gas had alerted me, it was. Ah, yes, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. Once we got inside, we all badly collapsed. Because of the gas? Yeah, this room was full of it. No air at all. So must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed. Mr. Ross suffocated to death. Of course, police gave me a sound ticking out because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sent me back to have the lot replaced all over the house. Even after you get all that work done, Mr. Natsumi says the same thing. But the stove goes out at night while she's asleep in bed. Well, that's the belly curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now. Someone's feeling defensive. I think we need to check out that stove. Oh, that reminds me, actually. Yes? Oh, young Duncan. That night before the poor chap perished, he wrote a letter. A letter of affection to a young lady. A love letter, you mean? Yes, where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk. You'll excuse me. Let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Mrs. Dotto, that is precisely why I preface my writing with, if you'll excuse me. Well, not excuse Mr. Holmes. No. Sadly, he didn't address it, though, so I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really. I see. That's going to play on my mind. Really, the identity of Mr. Ross's suite has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. I suppose you're right. Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there's a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Sholmes, please. I've already had to chastise you about this once. My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green. Ah, Olive Green? Woman who plunged into a coma after a knife plugged into her back outside the house 5 days ago. Victim of the last case Uzbekistan was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday? Is it just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean? Great personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mrs. Otto. Ha 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 ha. Well, well, well. Now the pieces come together. Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. Seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully, just before she leaves. Ah, what is it? Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. One moment, I'll be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The nurse said I could be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, and that's all. We were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. She's definitely behaving strangely. We can't cook something out of her. Wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh, yes. I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway, so I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. Probably shouldn't stand around and chat. Certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk. That's for sure. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Rose. You knew him, didn't you? Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to start you like that. No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan. A year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. The two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why I decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Garrett Ebbs. Yes, he told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then 1 month ago, that's when it happened. I'm so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad. Sorry to think that's just her look. Now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. Yeah, I wondered if the rat's gonna drink it and die. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course. Be on our... Mr. Naruhodo. Yep. So you're not about to leave. That's quite out of the question. What? Sholmes. I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows as always. Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mrs. Otto, is this. Why do detectives insist on such ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There's a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let's avert the disaster. Let's prevent this case from ever happening. Nothing but careful observation. Alright. All the clues you need to set before you. You only need to look and you cannot fail to see. You did, Mr. Naruhodo? I know you can. That mouse seems to be dead. Look. I didn't notice it there before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from where we arrived. You don't think. I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. Of a tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilled out on the floor. The poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently. Miss Green, were you intending to go to the same way as that rodent? Take your own life. Once we'd left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison. No! Miss Green, please talk to us. It feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when I first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand, in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes, it may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Jones believed was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. Ten seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while. There's something that's out when he wasn't looking. Why was it in a What? What kind of... Why is there a poison in a hospital medicine cabinet? I'm afraid I don't really know. But I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green. Don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no, it's all my fault. What have I done? I shall move this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection. No, none. Oh gosh. Ah! It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Roar at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. is precisely the time when the incident occurred. Slug and Salad, yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road being the street that Mr. Gyarados' house is on. Does this mean that? Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was stuck in the back of the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness. That's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Screen. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back, and I had a close shave with a bottle of poison. And I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. I sound a little conceited, but well, that's how all this has made me feel. Jeez, she is really sick. Miss Green and Mr. Bartholomew was behind. We made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Well, it appears we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yes, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that might be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Just about Mr. Shamsphere, Mr. Garrett's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets of this case, and we're yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway. Can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Master Natsumi's tea, you mean? Yes. Will they have found strychnine in it or not? Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Barak von Zeeks. I wish you every success, of course. And though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend to the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsumi's case until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. Away from the razzle-dazzle down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Seki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. They felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn for all of us. Well, took me way longer to get to this point than I should have, but we did get here. And as sad as it pains me to say, we're going to have to end the episode tonight. Can we successfully defend Natsumi in this very interesting case? You should just have to find out next time on Great Ace Attorney 2. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next time. Bye.